Okay folks, so this week, following on from looking at multiples and lowest common multiple last week, we're going to look at another type of special number, which is factors. So we're going to look at how we get the factors of a number this week, so that's one of our learning objectives. And then the second thing we're going to look at is once we've got those factors and we know how to do that, we want to work out how we can get the highest common factor of a group of numbers. So we're going to consider the factors of 18 first of all. So this is our first example. Now, the factors of 18 are just the numbers that multiply together to give you 18. So the easiest pair that we always start with, and these will come in pairs because you need two numbers multiplied together. The easiest thing we can do is we can do 1 times 18. Now notice the way I'm writing it out. I'm going to show you why I'm doing that as we go through the question. But 1 times 18 would give me 18. And what I think next is, right, let's just go along the list of numbers. And that might sound crazy for a bigger number, but I'm going to show you that's actually quite sensible. After 1 comes 2. Does 2 times something give me 18? Yes, 2 times 9 gives me 18. After 2, what comes next? 3 comes next. Does 3 times something give me 18? Yeah, 3 times 6 gives me 18. So if you struggle with your times tables, it might help you to have a wee times table square beside you when you do this. I don't mind that. It'll just get you more used to thinking about them and get you practicing them again. Next number is 4. Is 4 times something 18? Well, if I go through my 4 times table, 4, add on 4 is 8, add on another 4 is 12, add on another 4 is 16, add on another 4 is 20. Well, that's bigger than 18, so we're done. There's not 4 times anything, so that means that 4 isn't a factor of 18, so I didn't need to write it down. After 4 is 5, okay. After 4 is 5. Is 5 times something 18? Is 18 in the 5 times table? Well, we know it's not, because the 5 times table is 5, 10, 15, 20. Again, once we get to 20, we're past 18, so I shouldn't have written down 5 either. Okay, and then the next number is 6. But wait a minute, we've already got 6. So as soon as we get to a number that's on this side of my list, okay, then I know that I am finished. So I didn't need that 6 because the factors of 18 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. So once you get here to the number that you've got there, then you know for definite that unless you've missed something out, you're definitely finished, and that can be quite helpful when we're doing this sometimes. So let's do the same thing again with 16. So first thing, easiest factor pair that we've got, 1 times 16. 1 times 16 gives me 16. 1 and 16 are therefore both factors of 16. We know that 16 is an even number, therefore 2 times something will give me 16. 2 times 8 gives me 16. So now I'm only going to have to check the numbers between 2 and 8. So very quickly, I'm looking at quite a small set of numbers. So what comes after 2? The number after 2 is 3. So I need to be checking, right, does 3 times something give me 16? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. No, it doesn't. So I didn't need to write down 3, and you don't need to write them down. I'm just doing it to show you. What comes next? 4. Well, yeah, 4 times something is 16 because 4 times 4 is 16. Now, wait a minute. We're done because the next number would be 5 if I was to write it down in my list, but I've already got 4 here. So I've hit the middle of the list. I'm absolutely finished. So we don't need the 5 because it wasn't a factor, and my list is finished. I've got 1, 2, 4. Now I don't need to write the 4 again because 4 isn't a factor twice. Okay, 1, 2, 4, 8 and 16. Now there's a reason that we only write the 4 down once, and some of you might know why if you think about what type of a number 16 is, but we're not going to worry about that just now. But if you think you've sussed it out, let me know. Okay, next number, 17. So the factors of 17. Well, 1 times 17. 2, well, it can't be in the 2 times table because it's an odd number. So actually, that means it can't be in the 2, the 4, the 6, the 8, the 10. It can't be in any even times table, can it? So all those numbers, it can't be in those times tables. because it's an odd number. And if you think about all the even times tables, all the answers are even numbers. So I only need to check the odd numbers now, okay? Because I've got an odd number here, I only need to check the odd numbers. So after 2, because it's not in the 2 times table, we're looking for 3. So 17 in the 3 times table, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Nope, it's not in the 3 times table. Okay, the next odd number would be 5. I don't even think we need to write that one down. I think you'll agree with me that it's not in the 5 times table. It doesn't end in a 5 or a 0. After that, we're now at 7. So, sorry, I'm just neatening this up. So, check the 7 times table. 7, add on another 7 is 14. Add on another 7 is 21. No, it's not in the 7 times table. Is it in the 9 times table? 9, 18. Nope, it's not in the 9 times table. It's not in the 11 times table. 11 then 22. In the 13 times table, now you won't know your 13 times table, but we've got 13 then 26. Okay, it would be 2 lots of 13. 15 times table, 15, 2 lots of 15 is 30. Nope, definitely not. And then the next odd number is 17. So actually, we've checked all the times tables in between, and 17 only has 2 factors. They are just 1 and 17. And again, that's a special number. That means that 17 is what we call the prime number. And that's the work we're going to do next week. So we're not going to talk about that just now, but some of you will remember that from primary school, and we'll talk about a better definition for that next week. Final example I'm going to do with you is 42. Now 42 is a much bigger number, it's a much higher number, so sometimes that means we've got a bigger set of factors, but sometimes it doesn't. If I picked 48, 48 has got a lot of factors, so we would be there for a while, and we might actually do 48 just as a wee extra, so I'm going to write that in as well before we get on to highest common factor. But let's think about 42 first of all. 1 times 42 has to work. So that's always the place to start. You can always get the first 2 factors. Now, 2 times something. 2 whats would be 42. Or if you're not sure, what's half of 42? Because remember, that's kind of asking the same question. Half of 42 is 21. So 2 times 21 would give me 42. So that means that 2 and 21 are factors of 42. Next would be 3. Is 42 in the 3 times table? Now, let's not start at 3. Let's start at 3 tens are 30. 3 tens are 30. So 3 11s would be 33. 3 12s would be 36. 3 13s would be 39. 3 14s would be 42. Now that's quite a tricky one. Sometimes when we do factors, we might miss out things like 3 14s being 42 because it's not in the times tables that we normally talk about, but we need to make sure we double check either by counting up or doing a little sum at the side. What happens if I do 42 divided by 3? Does it work out nicely with no remainder? 3 goes into 4 once with 1 left over. 3 goes into 12 4 times. Yes, it does. So nothing wrong with doing little sums here. 4 times table would be next. 4 tens are 40, 4 11s are 44, so it's not in the 4 times table. I'm not going to write that down. 5 times table, well, it can't be in the 5 times table because it doesn't end in a 0 or a 5. So let's start with the 6 times table next. 6 times table, 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, 36, 42. Yes, now what was that? That was 6 sevens. And look, we can't go any further. The next number would be 7, but we've got 7 in the other side of our list. So we've finished our factor pairs. The factors of 42 are 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 14, 21 and 42. And finally, excuse me, before we get to highest common factor, let's just look at 48. Now 48 is maybe going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to talk through it a little bit quicker, but we start off with 1 and 48, and I'm giving myself plenty of space here because I know there's quite a lot of factors of 48. It obviously divides by 2. We can half 48 to get 24. Okay, now, would it divide by 3? Well, if we go back to here, 3 14s were 42, so 3 15s would be 45, so 3 16s would be 48. And again, we could have done a wee divide sum at the side if that helped. Okay, so we've got 3 and 16. The next would be 4. Now it looks like 48 should be in the 4 times table, because look at the two numbers, a 4 and an 8. 4 goes into 4 once with nothing left over, and 4 goes into 8 twice, and you might know that 4 12s are 48 anyway. So what numbers have we still got to do? We've still got to check between 5 and 11. That's the gap we've got left. It's not in the 5 times table, okay, because 48, it doesn't end in a 0 or a 5. Okay, let's try the 6 times table though. 6 8s are 48. Well, we're almost there, because there's only one number between 6 and 8. What number's between 6 and 8? It's 7. Is 48 in the 7 times table? 7 6s were 42. 7 7s are 49. So that is our final list. The factors of 48 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, and 48. Okay, now I'm going to stop this video here. And you might want to get on and just do the factors questions first before you see any that are talking about the highest common factor, and I'll make up another little video for that.